Are you new to golf fitness, or is it something that you've been thinking about doing or know you need to do, or somebody that wants to play as long as they can the rest of their lives? Well, I got the perfect workout for you. I'm going to show you exactly where you need to get started, the most important things to focus on. So let's go. All right, so the first thing we need to do is figure out where your limitations are, and the three most important joints in the body for your golf game are your hips, your thoracic spine, and your shoulder joint. So what we need is 3 clubs. So we need preferably a 6, a 7, and an 8 iron. You can pause the video and go grab them, or I'll just wait here for you to get back. Okay, I don't want to wait that long. So hopefully you paused it. What we need is you're going to set the 7 iron down just like this, and then you're going to take your 6 iron and you're going to put it right on the shaft there, and that's going to give us a 45-degree angle, or I'm sorry, a 60-degree angle. So we're going to test our hips with this. So next thing you're going to do is take your 8 iron, you're going to stand just on your left foot, lock it out, make it straight, set your right toe next to it, and then put the 8 iron on your hip joint. And you're going to turn your hips as far as you can go, and you're trying to match it up with that 6 iron that's on the ground. If you can go there, that means you have good mobility in your hips. If you're tight and you can't turn, that means we need to work on that mobility for those hips. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So what we're measuring here is we're measuring internal rotation. And that is really important for a right-handed golfer. On your backswing, when you take a backswing, your right hip is internally rotating, and then on your downswing, your left hip is internally rotating. And if you can't do that, that's where we see a lot of movement in the lower body. Too much movement can cause bad shots. So now we're locking out the right leg. We're going to turn as far as we can go. Be honest with yourself. I see a lot of clients do this, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm way past it. But you got to keep that club on your hip joint. Turn as far as you can. Keep that leg straight. Keep the foot flat. If you're tight there, I got the exercises for you. If you're good, then we'll move on to the shoulders. Okay, let's see how much thoracic mobility you have. This one, you're going to take the 8 iron this time, and you're going to put it on that same club that's in front of you. And now, I want you to lock your lower body in, so you're not going to move your lower body. You're going to put this club right across your chest. Keep the lower body as stable as you can. Don't let it turn. And you're going to try and turn all the way where you look down and see if you're even with that 8 iron that's on the ground. What's going to happen a lot of times is you're going to turn your lower body without knowing it. So really feel like that's locked in. You're turning as far as you can to your right. See if you're even with that on the ground. And then we're going to do the other way. Again, if you have limitations in your thoracic spine, it's going to cause a lot of different problems in your swing because you can't turn, like an over the top, or just not finishing your backswing and coming down more with your upper body. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to lock the lower body in, turn as far as you can to the left. See if you can match that or go past that. If you're tight there, I got the exercises for that one too. Okay, for our last quick test, we need just you pick the club. It could be the 6, the 7, or the 8. We're going to stand against the wall if you can. If you can't, you could use back of a chair while you're sitting in it. But we're going to go straight arms, hold on to the club right in front of you. Keep your back flat against the wall. Try and keep it as flat as you can. And you're going to lock your arms out, go up as high as you can go. Try and touch your thumbs all the way back to the wall, keeping that club as high and as far away from your head as you can. If your arms start to break down and bend, that means you have too much tightness. What we're measuring is the shoulder and the lat muscle, because when you take a backswing, if you try and get that left arm straight and you try and get your arms higher and you can't do this assessment, then you're going to have issues in your swing. And guess what? I got those exercises too. So let's go start some exercising. So when it comes to golf-specific training, the main focus that we want is, number one, and first and foremost, we want to focus on mobility. That's range of motion in your joints, and then stability. It's making sure that the muscles that are supposed to be stabilizing those joints are. We want to limit any lateral movement, excessive, that we have in the golf swing. We want to limit a lot of different forward and backward motions. All we want to do is we want to rotate over a stable lower body, and that's going to help us get back to the ball more consistently over time. So number one is we're going to work on the hips. So if you had tightness in the hips, and even if you didn't, you want to try these exercises just to see if maybe you tested wrong or if these are tough for you. So we're going to get on the ground, and we're going to do what's called a hip drop. So we're going to knees bent, sitting down. The important thing here is that you keep your butt planted on the ground, and we're going to try and drop the knee in as far as you can, keeping the glute on the ground. You might be able to go really far. If you can go really far, it's probably good that you have that good mobility and the internal hip rotation. So we're going to go both sides. We're going to hold it for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then we're just going to keep going back and forth. It's okay to lift your foot up there, and we're just going back and forth, just like that, 3 to 5 seconds. The next one we're going to do, this is a great test, is you're just going to lay back, same, and you're going to put your hands between your knees, and then you're just going to go out as far as you can go with your feet, keeping your knees against your hands. Try that for about 20 to 25 reps. Try and go as far as you can. That could be a tough one for you. Again, if you have that tightness in the internal hips, you'll know it, you'll feel it. Last one we're going to do is called a kneeling hip flexor stretch. So we're going to go on the knee, you're going to squeeze the glute of the same leg that's on the ground, and we're going to push forward. So we're pushing forward, you're going to get a big stretch right here in the front, and what happens is these muscles will do the majority of the work that the glutes are supposed to do, and the looser, more flexible you can get this, the stronger you can get this back here, it's going to allow that hip to loosen up and give you much more mobility in those hips. So again, we're squeezing, we're pushing forward, we're going to hold it for about 30 seconds, and then we're going to switch sides. You can repeat those 3 exercises up to 3 to 5 times, and I would suggest doing it every day, once in the morning and then once in the evening for the best results. All right, let's move on to the thoracic spine, or the upper back. And this is by far my favorite exercise or stretch to do for that. So you're going to find a chair where your knees are at 90 degrees. You're going to sit tall. You're going to put a club or a stick or something behind you. If you can't get to this position because your shoulders are so tight, it's okay to do it this way as well. But I prefer you do it this way just because you're going to get that thoracic spine a little bit open. So what we're going to do here is you're going to keep your knees pretty close together and keep them that way. And then you're going to turn as far as you can go. You can turn your head as well and just kind of get an idea of where you are. Okay, so now the exercise, you're going to turn as far as you can go. Take a deep breath. So you expand your rib cage, let it out, and then drop your right shoulder back. Well, now we're stretching the obliques on this side. We're contracting the obliques on this side. And then we're going to get as tall as you can again. Rotate again. Take a deep breath. Expand the rib cage, let it out, drop the shoulder again. Then you're going to come back up, turn as far as you can go again, take a deep breath, let it out, drop the shoulder, and then come back to center and turn again and see how much mobility you have gained. I've seen up to 20 degrees of mobility gained just with that one stretch. And then of course you want to do it on both sides, but that's an awesome stretch that you can do daily to get more thoracic mobility. And let me show you another one. We'll get rid of the chair and you're going to lay on the ground. So that was my favorite. This is my second favorite, and this one always feels good too. It's called the open book, and I'm sure you've seen it before. You're going to lay down on the ground, what we'll call the hook line position. You're going to put your bottom hand on your knee here. You're going to take this hand and you're going to go back as far as you can go, following your hand with your eyes, holding that knee down. Hold for about 5 seconds, and then bring it back. So we're going to continue to do this. If you're somebody that says, man, this is pretty easy, I really don't feel a stretch, then you can kick this bottom leg out, bring this one all the way to the ground, and repeat that same move and see if you can get all the way down. If you can't, that's another one that you can add to your stretching repertoire for your shoulders. All right, last but definitely not least, it's the one where the arms go over the head. This one can kill a golf swing, because if you're somebody that you bring it back and your instructor, or they're like, man, your plane is so flat, you're bringing it down here, that's probably because you can't physically get it up here high enough to where you can get a little bit more angle or a little bit more width in your swing. So what we're going to do here for this one is, number one, we want to grab as far out on a club. So for instance, I have a 7-iron here. The longer the club, the easier this will be. So if you have a lot of limitation, you can grab a driver, or even better, you can use a band that you can pull apart as you go up. So, but what you want to do is you're going to try and keep your arms as straight as you can. Go up, up as high as you can. Try and feel like you're pulling the club apart. And what this is stretching is it's stretching the chest and the shoulder joint that is limiting you from going higher in your golf swing. So once you get to the top, or as high as you can go with your arms straight, we're just going to lean to one side. So my feel here is I'm pulling down with my left arm on the grip, and I'm pulling my right arm over my head. Again, you don't want to lean back this way because that's going to put a lot of stress on your lower back. So we're going to hold it, that one for about 5 seconds, and now we're going back the other way. We're going to hold that one for 5 seconds. You may feel like you're tighter on one side than the other, but that's normal to be tighter on one side than the other. Okay, and then the last one, or the second one we're going to do is we're going to go on our knees here. We're going to take the same club. We're going to hold it out in front of us. Then we're going to put our head down between the arms, and we're going to push away from your body, and then we're going to lean. So you're going to lean the club, getting a big stretch in those muscles, and then back this way. That's a good one. Make sure you breathe on that one because you get a little blood to the head. But really good exercise to get more width in your swing, or your arms higher if that's something you're after. So those are my 3 top stretches or joints, hips, shoulders, and thoracic mobility that you need, and that's a great place to get started for your golf. So if you are someone that's new to golf fitness, or it's something you're looking into, I'm glad you watched this video. My biggest keys from working with people for over 20 years now is, number one, if you're with a golf fitness instructor that your whole workout looks like your golf swing, that's not how you want to approach it. The number one thing you need to focus on is flexibility and mobility. Number 2 is stability. And number 3 are those main joints, the hips, the thoracic spine, and the shoulders. So if your golf instructor said, man, you need to get a little bit more flexible, you want to figure out where you're tight, and then if you just do those exercises I just gave you, it's going to make a huge difference in your body and in your game. The other thing is, if you feel like you want to play as long as you can, I hear that a lot from my clients. They're like, man, I want to just be able to play as long as I can in life because I'm retired now. I've worked my whole life, now I just want to play golf. Start there if you haven't done anything yet, and then you can focus on building strength and building speed, but you have got to set that foundation first. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next video. Hey, thanks for watching this video. You might like the ones over here if you like this one. And don't forget to subscribe below and comment down below and let me know if there's anything golf specific that you're working on that you'd like to see a video for. And hey, share this with your friends because I know they could use it too. We'll see you on the next video.